All right, it's the end of the week. It's miserable, but we got some work going on. Plumber, sprinkler, electrician, and framers on site. Let's check it out. Okay, all the sub-trades works are underway, but we got a new one coming in today, sprinkler guy. Let's go have a chat with him. Okay, we have Emas here from Centerline Fire. These are my go-to guys when it comes to sprinkler work. How's it going, Emas?
Good, how are you?
Great. Tell me what you're doing here today and what kind of things you're looking for when it comes to doing sprinkler work.
Well, when we first go to a place, the first thing we have to do is find where to put our risers, and if we can cover 8 feet from each side of a head or 9 feet from each side of a head, it's very important, and we try to always line up the lines. We like the plumbers and the ventilation guys to run their stuff high so we can run under them and there will be enough room for insulation.
Okay. So for example, this room here, we have the lights, we have a smoky square room. Where would you put your sprinkler head to make it look good for the end product?
Well, obviously you would always want to try and line up with a light or a pendant or a smoky or whatever it is, and like put it in the center. Measure right here and see where the center is, put it right there, and if that covers like all the way up to that wall, then it should be good.
What's the magic number when it comes to?
For most places it's about 8 feet,
Nice.
But some places have higher pressure and goes to like 9 feet. And there's also like extended coverage heads, but that's for commercial.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So when it comes to sprinkler heads, when you think about the circle with the little spikes on it with a red little ampule inside, what kind of sprinkler heads are going in here?
It's gonna be the concealed pendants. They look a lot better than the pendants just coming down. Like in your house, you wanna minimize the stuff that's not flush on your ceiling, so we always use the concealed sprinkler head.
Okay, right on. Here's one cool thing about new houses that I bet you didn't know about. One of the toilets on the upper floor is actually supplied with water from the sprinkler system. Let's get into this and find out how that works. Emas, tell us all about this.
Hey, so usually the plumber would have his line all set up and we just take over it. And that's it, but I talked to the plumber today and we're just gonna have our line coming down here, a PEX line, 1/2 inch PEX line, and then the plumber is gonna connect it to a PRV and then go through and then all the way here and then into here, and then our system will be flushing this toilet.
Okay, so under regular conditions, the sprinkler pipes are always pressurized, right? Or energized, right?
They usually have the city pressure in them unless it's like a commercial or like industrial.
Right. So when this water's inside the pipe, does it stay there all the time, stale? Or does it have some kind of a way of discharging and reflushing itself?
In houses, it always has to be the top floor toilet, the furthest away from our station.
Okay, so for example, this is the one that's furthest away. The water supply normally is by the plumber, but in this case, it's by the sprinkler.
Yes.
So sprinkler pipe comes in to a PRV to reduce the pressure, and it eventually goes into this toilet. What happens every time you flush a toilet?
Every time they flush the toilet, the water in our system fills it back up and the drain just drains the old water.
So every time you flush it, water from the sprinkler system actually moves, right?
Yes, exactly. It just cleans the hell out of it.
Bet you didn't know that about sprinkler systems and toilets, right? Only in new houses, right?
Yeah, the ones in Vancouver at least, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's a pretty cool trick. Anyways, thanks a lot.
Cheers.
As part of the electrical rough-in, one of the things we're doing today is we're connecting the garage and the house electrically. Now, what does that mean? You see that pole at the end of the garage? That's the service entrance mask. That's where the electrical comes in from the overhead wires, connects to that pipe. 2 meters will be installed at the end of the garage, which feeds the house. 1 meter covering the main house and 1 meter covering the basement suite. Let's go check out how these are connected. So we're standing in the back of the garage. This mast here represents the service entrance that's going to be connected to a set of meters, okay? 2 meters for this property. How this connects to the house? Via underground wire. This is a tech cable that connects eventually to these meters, which feeds its individual electrical panels inside the house. There's regulations on how this is done. Typically, when it's an underground setting, you need a 24 inches of excavation with a 6-inch bed of sand. The tech cables and the conduits rest inside that, covered further with another foot of sand and electrical caution tape, and then finally backfilled. Now this process has to be inspected because this is all underground work. And see, the electrician right now is feeding in the DB2. That's the communication conduit. And that will house all the Shaw and TELUS and whatever fiber optic lines that connect from this service area to the house. Because it's raining today, it's really mucky to do this kind of work, but if you We'll take a closer look over there where it's a bit drier and we can see the sand bed that's been put in place. But yeah, this is what comes with a rainy day, mud and yucky stuff. Where I'm standing here in the trench, there's 6 inches of sand on the bottom. This is a mandatory when it comes to inspections. The 2 tech cables running from the house to the garage. And this right here, this 2-inch DB2 will rest inside this trench as well before it gets backfilled. Ending off this week again with a ton of work that took place, the plumbing, sprinklers, mechanical, the electrical. All this will be inspected hopefully by the end of next week. And then from there, we start focusing on the outer shell of the house and start buttoning things in from the outside in.